And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Luther Richter, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. oh God! And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How do you do it?
you
Teach
can
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile. Smile going on some shoes, but look.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when it's
try
time,
this with you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
Just a sexy eye right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Each words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
We're now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Find somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Woo! Put your hands together, y'all. I hope you guys had a fantastic and wonderful and a productive weekend. All right. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. I don't know about you guys, but it was a good Sunday for me. And of course, we'll be talking about that later on in our Let's Talk segment. But anyway, you know, we had the whole weekend. We had a whole weekend. It was very nice for my weekend. I literally, I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed some time away from the computers, away from news, away from doing all this stuff, you know, because I'm always doing something on my channels and all that. But it was nice to just be on sleep mode for a minute. You know, just a little bit of recoup because I've been doing 2 shows a day constantly and also doing live shows on the weekends as well. So it was nice to take a weekend off. It was much needed personally on a real personal level. I was just starting to get really not burned out because I love what I do, you know, but it was just nice to just have some time to just chill. You know what I mean? Just chill. But anyway, I do have my wonderful people around with me. I got Jackie Buck and Tommy Boy showing hard. Jackie Buck and Tommy Boy. What's a guan? How y'all doing? How was your weekend?
What's up, man? How you doing, Tom?
Doing all right. Had a nice, relaxing weekend yesterday. They had been advertising all weekend that Comedy Central was going to have this Adam Sandler film festival yesterday.
No.
And they showed 2 damn movies.
Which movies though? Which movies though?
Not a marathon. 2 movies is not a marathon. So I made my own marathon yesterday of Adam Sandler's. I watched The Wedding Singer and then watched Blended. Those were the ones on Comedy Central.
Really?
Yeah.
Blended though?
I'm not gonna
Real
lie.
talk.
I don't know. Maybe it's being cooped up. And that taking its toll on my psyche. I was actually oddly touched by a few moments in Blended.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen it, Jack?
No. Is it worth watching?
No.
Okay.
Hell to the no. No, it is not.
0 out of 5 Pascal.
Hell to the no. You know what I mean? Like, you know when you want to say something, like you disagree so hard that you have to take a deep breath, and in mid-sentence you have to take another deep breath because that's how passionately you disagree with something, and you want to put everything in your body to let everybody know how much you do not like that movie or that particular situation. That's that situation right now. Hell to the no. Terrible movie. Terrible movie. Okay?
Okay.
Just so you know. I'm not going to stick up for it. I mean, you're probably right. It probably is a terrible movie. But for whatever reason, yesterday, I was kind of vibing on it.
Of course you were.
And then after that, I watched Sandy Wexler. And then after that, watched 50 First Dates. That was my... That's how I spent my Sunday. I was going to watch Uncut Gems. What's that?
I've never seen Sandy Wexler either.
It's all right. I mean, for late era Sandler, it's acceptable.
I'll say this though. Sandy Wexler I thought was very enjoyable. It's a very feel-good type of movie. Very positive, very feel-goody. He does a good job. You know, he's Adam Sandler, so he does this. He's got some balls and so, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very Adam Sandler-y, but it's good. Now, let me ask you this though, Tom. Okay, when it came to the marathon that you did after you watched Blended, 50 First Dates. I'll give you that. But that's some watered down Adam Sandler, yo. That's some watered down. Like, you know, it's obviously, was it like TBS or something like that? What station was it that was doing the marathon again?
Let's see. Comedy Central did Blended and Wedding Singer, and then 50 First Dates was on TBS.
Gotcha. See, didn't I call TBS with with 50 First Dates? Okay, so very, very watered down Adam Sandler when it comes to Adam Sandler. All right, is 50 First Dates, Blended. I mean, Waterboy is kind of when he's starting to go a little bit. Waterboy's still a classic, but so after you watched those movies, you said that you watched a few more. Was it all syndicated, or were these by choice on demand? You know, on like streaming sites.
They were all syndicated except Sandy Wexler. Wexler I watched on Netflix.
Okay, because I was gonna say, you know, those are some interesting choices to watch if you're gonna watch some classic Adam Sandler. Actually, you know, guys, everybody who's watching and all that, definitely comment down below. What is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? Since we're already going into that world, we do have some really great movies. We got a really great movie to talk about a little bit later today. But definitely comment down below. What is your favorite Adam Sandler movie? Comment down below. I really like to know. All right.
What's yours?
Mine? Oh. There's not so many. Let me just take that back. No. There's a lot. Like, okay, Billy Madison still has a very special place in my heart, because it's just so out there, but it's hilarious. Yeah. It's just hilarious. And what's so funny is that there's not a lot of people who've seen that movie. You know, it's not as mainstream. It's not the mainstream Adam Sandler. So I'm very thankful for that. Because, you know, everybody's talking about foosball and you can do it and all that stuff, you know. But when you start talking about, like, you know, everyone in this room is that much dumber for listening to that answer, you know. You gain no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. It's just such a great line, and it's like, wow, you could have just said wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's this certain scenes in that movie. Oh, here's some sloppy joes. I know you like them extra sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, just really great moments that are just hilarious, right? And it's underground, kind of a cultish movie, you know. So it would be Billy Madison, like, number one for sure. And then, of course, Happy Gilmore is obviously a really great one too. But that's when he starts getting kind of more on the mainstream level, you know? So that's just me. Jack, how about you?
You know, I've seen pretty much, you know, all the main ones, except for his like last maybe 5 years of movies. So I haven't really caught up on any of that type of stuff. I did see The Do-Over, that Netflix movie. That was okay. You know, it was more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. And then like some of his older stuff that I was like thinking Airheads. That one back in the day. I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Oh wow, that's so bad.
You know, yeah,
it's so bad.
So bad. It's so good though.
Oh.
Did you ever see The Cobbler?
The Cobbler?
No, I never saw that.
I liked it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
The Cobbler.
Worth checking out.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, man. Hey, my weekend, I caught some movies because we got Disney Plus.
Oh, nice.
And it was, you know, one of those things where we caught up on kids' movies. So,
yeah.
But right. I'm gonna introduce them to The Mandalorian, and so
there you go.
We'll see what happens with that.
Oh, so you started watching The Mandalorian?
I've seen a couple episodes of Tom before, but I have not followed up to finish out the first season.
Oh, Tom's that guy. Hey, man, you got to watch. You got to check out this Mandalorian, man. Let's watch some. You want to watch the next movie, the next episode? You're just being nice. You're like, okay, fine, sure. Okay,
No,
great.
I liked it.
Oh, well, may God have mercy on your soul. Everyone in this room is that much more dumb because of you watching that. You get 0 points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Maybe from watching Tangled yesterday. I'll agree with that. But,
Yeah. Hey, you get to see the chameleon, right?
That's right. That's right.
Ain't a bad thing.
But I also celebrated my wife's birthday, so I want to say happy birthday.
Yes.
Turning 38 years old today, or yesterday.
Oh.
So it was, nice little birthday day. But we had a nice little Easter food, and then we made some birthday food. Had a little pad thai for dinner. So that's what's up.
Like homemade pad thai?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. Dang, I need that kind of life. John Klosterman on Facebook says, Happy Gilmore. This probably makes me basic. And he also says, Happy Easter, Tom.
Oh, yes. Happy Easter, John. For those little inside baseball here, John is my cousin. Hello, John.
Hello, John. Cousin John. Of course, and I can't forget, I don't want to be the rude guy. I hope you guys had a wonderful hopefully you guys had a wonderful Easter. So happy belated Easter to all you out there. And of course, to my brethren on here, Jack and Tom, happy Easter. Hopefully it was a good one.
Happy Easter to you.
And of course, we're going to be talking about that in our Let's Talk segment, which is, one second. Of course, it's not here. Anyway, the question of the day is, how did you celebrate Easter this time around? Given the fact that we're all in lockdown, we're all in shutdown, we're all locked up right now. What interesting things did you guys do to celebrate Easter? So be sure to comment down below. We're going to be talking about that here in our Let's Talk segment here very, very shortly. But moving on back to the conversation. I'm happy that Jack, I'm very happy that you were able to sit down and actually consume some TV or some streaming stuff. So that's really nice. You got a chance to just turn your brain off and do some stuff. But I'm also waiting for you to actually take a look at Tiger King at some point.
Yeah.
Just saying. No kid movies. When the kids go to sleep, the parents can go play and watch some trash TV.
It's on Netflix though, right? We got rid of Netflix.
Oh, well then there's the problem.
Yeah,
Wait. But you have
look on YouTube.
But you have Disney Plus.
Yeah, we just got that.
So you got Disney Plus. You got rid of Netflix.
Got rid of Netflix like 2 months ago.
Dang.
Because we would watch everything on it, and the kids weren't ever watching it anymore, and we didn't have time for it. So anything that we want to watch can be found online. Really, I mean, if you want to spend 2 more minutes looking for something, you can find it.
Facts. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Tom.
There's a lot of things you can bootleg. Oh, and there's Tom. Yeah, and there's always Tom. Tom is the king of finding some really good hookups, right? No,
in other words, yes, I use uTorrent a lot.
And it's okay. It's okay. But I've always wondered how you keep your your computer intact. I would feel like that you'd be getting hit with viruses upon viruses over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
I've got script blockers and ad blockers and a VPN and
wow.
Yeah.
He did his due diligence.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I've got a nice antivirus, so yeah, I'm set.
Yeah, Tom's a guy hacking you, not getting hacked.
That's right. You remember last week when your internet was all terrible? I needed a couple days, man.
Yeah. You're the one who hacked into my system? Wow, man.
That's
look at that.
Right.
Unbelievable. James said he on YouTube. What's up, James? He said he binged on film noir movies. I'm wondering what movies you watched, my brother, because I love film noir. So definitely, I'm wondering what you watched, like the Maltese Falcon. You know, what did you watch? Some neo-noir, like L.A. Confidential type stuff. I'm curious. So comment down below, man. Speaking of movies, we do have something very cool coming in onto the show today. We have the stars and the writer-director of the movie The Ghost Who Walks, who they will be on the show today. Franklin Mosley, Garland Scott, and Cody Stokes will be on at the 10 o'clock hour. At the top of 10, I'm very excited about talking to them. This movie right now is streaming on Netflix, and it's in the top 10 movie list of trending movie list right now on Netflix right now as we speak. It's an original piece, and get this, it was all shot here in St. Louis. Boom! Which is very cool. And I'm very excited to talk with them. So that movie just got dropped just about last week. Last Tuesday, it premiered. And it's doing very, very well. I got a chance to see it, too. I will be doing a review of it. Not today, of course, but I will be doing a review of it. And if you get a chance, go watch The Ghost Who Walks. I'll say that first. Most definitely go see The Ghost Who Walks. It is definitely something to put your eyes on for sure. Anyway, we're going to go into a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's Let's Talk. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us in this community, all the good people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their self because their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. People are feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range too. So if you get hungry, come on by.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go click that like button on our Facebook page. And of course, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, shout out to YouTube. Hit us up. Hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. That would really, really mean a lot. Anyway, before we go into our Let's Talk segment, I'm very excited about a few things because I do have somebody coming in, very special coming in tomorrow onto the show. Tomorrow morning, we will have Richard Pryor Jr. streaming into the show live. Yes, I'm very excited about it. We're going to be rapping with him, talking about all kinds of different stuff. There's a lot to talk about with him because, there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to be rapping with him, picking his brain, seeing what he's up to, see what the new projects he has going on, see how the autobiography that he just had come out about a year ago, how that kind of turned out and all that. So I'm very excited about that. So be sure to tune in tomorrow. He'll be on at the 10 o'clock hour right here on the Pascal Show. But anyway, it is time for Let's Talk.
Now you've got to be kidding me.
He needs some milk.
For today's Let's Talk, the question is, how did you celebrate Easter 2020? So, could have been many different things. Obviously, right now, there's a lot of things that are going on. We're in our stay-at-home situation. There's a lot of people that may have streamed their Sunday service, their Easter Sunday services. Did you guys go to church? Did you brave the public? Did you get out there? Did you at least stay within a 6-foot distance from each other? I don't know. Comment down below. Let us know what you did. Question is, again, how did you celebrate your Easter this year? Comment down below. I'm going to go to the guys. Fellas, what did you guys do? How did you celebrate it?
So I packed up a whole bunch of those plastic Easter eggs, with some chocolate and then some coins and whatnot. And I did a dual Easter egg hunt, part inside, part outside. And it probably took them about 2.5 hours to find the 20 eggs that were hidden.
Aww.
So it was, I didn't put anything in plain sight. Everything was packed up real good. And
packed up real good.
It probably took me about that long to hide them. So it was, I had fun with that. But they found all but one. There's still one that is on the search for them. So I will not let them know where it's at. It's going to be where it's at.
You're
there's
evil.
a chocolate Easter egg in the house someplace. So.
You're evil, bruh. But that makes sense. I would do the same thing. I'd be like, nope.
Busy best I can.
Figure it out. Real quick on YouTube, Necrin, what's up, Necrin? He said watched movies in an Easter hunt. He said he watched the Ocean series 11, 12, and 13. He said, yo, I said the Pascal mystery for you, Pascal. Ha, ha, ha. Get it? The Pascal mystery, and my name's Pascal. That makes sense. Very funny. Very funny. But anyway, those are the comments that I have right now on the YouTube. How about you, Tommy Boy? What's good?
Well, me with Easter, I mean, obviously I watched all my Sandler movies yesterday, and I called my parents and talked to them for a little while. Made sure they were doing okay. I guess my sister and her family drove over to my parents' house yesterday and kind of, I guess, said hello through the window like people are doing now.
Right.
They invited me if I wanted to come over and do that, but nah, it's okay.
Wow.
I'll just talk to them. Well, I mean, what am I gonna? Yeah.
He's like,
hello, hi, happy. Okay, back in the car now. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
It would take me longer to get ready to go out there than it would take to actually go to the window and just dance around or whatever you do when you. Yeah.
You bring a lawn chair and a beer, and you sit out in their front yard and talk to them all day long, Tom.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. No.
Facts.
I think both my parents and I would get sick of that real quick. So.
Why is your son drunk in the front yard again?
Why is that happening?
He's just hanging out.
Why is that happening? Why is that happening again? Why the hell is that happening again? We need intervention, guys. Intervention.
How about you, man? What'd you do?
Well, that's a good question, man. Obviously, James said that he watched a bunch of movies, a bunch of film noir movies, the whole nine at home. So thanks for commenting, James. I really appreciate it. And then, like I keep saying, keep the comments going down below. But I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I did exactly what Tom did not want to do. Me and my girl went to go get some Easter things, like treats and candies and all that. And I went and saw all of my sisters and my mom. So I went out there and did that thing. I really did drive up, drop some stuff off, and then said from the car, "Hey, happy Easter," honk, honk, and drove off, Excuse me. The thing is that, one, this is the first Easter my mom is celebrating without my dad. So I felt obligated to go and see my mom, because I know that right now she's by herself, basically, in an empty house. She's by herself. So, yeah, it was kind of one of those things where I felt obligated to show support, show my love. And, holidays are really tough right now because it's the first year without my dad around. So I wanted to make sure she knew that she's not alone and that we love her, So we did that. We did that corny thing. We went there and we stood 20, 30 feet away from her and just chucked some candy at her. And I'm just kidding. But we just did the whole thing, like, the ringing the doorbell, running back to the car and just kind of waving and just telling them like, "Hey, we love you," that kind of thing. So that's what we did.
That's nice.
Yeah. We actually did videotape it too, but I'll show that on a later show. I'll show it on tomorrow. I gotta blur some stuff out and everything. I don't need people knowing where my family lives. You feel me? So gotta be on the. Hey, I gotta be safe. Here. Say that again. What?
You take a left here.
Yeah, no kidding. Third McDonald's with the broken M on the left. You know what I'm saying? So no. So I avoided that as much as I could. Like as far as like just trying to have human contact without having human contact, if that makes any sense. So it was really nice though. It was nice to see my nieces and nephews and see my family and, cause I haven't seen them physically in a very long time. I shop for my mom, so I see her at least once or twice a week, but yeah, it was just nice to see family again, So that's what I did for Easter.
That was good.
Yeah. And then
busy then?
Say again?
So you kept busy. Hopefully you didn't have to stop to get any gas.
No, I did not. Thank God I didn't have to, because everything was closed. Pretty much. Yeah. Everything.
Gas stations are open.
Yeah, well, the gas stations near or in my area were shut down. Were closed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like apparently gas stations, well, not like Quick Trip or anything, but there's a couple of the smaller ones that are just within my vicinity. They are literally shutting. They're closed on Sundays. So okay. Yeah, it sucks. It's stupid. Yeah. Huge waste of time.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever heard of a gas station being closed on Sunday. Is that like Steve Gedecker's place or something? Or are they?
Wow. That's a throwback.
Gedecker's is kind of a smaller local place. So for those that don't know, Gedecker's is closed on Sundays.
Exactly.
It's open every day except
every day but Sunday.
Every day but the Lard's Day. Lard. Not Lord, the Lard's Day. That's some local stuff for sure.
That is.
For sure. But yeah, so I mean that's what I did. That's what I did for my Easter Sunday. Chilled out. I streamed a little bit of the Joel Osteen Sunday service, so I got to see a little bit of that, which was cool. It's interesting how creative and how creative people will get when you don't have any options other than to just do it. Like, all right, this doesn't have to be perfect, Let's just throw up a camera and let Mariah Carey sing a song, which is what she did. She performed on the show, during the service. Kanye West performed. I think there was a little bit like a speech or something like that with Tyler Perry. they really kind of put something together really, really nice for what it's worth, So it's just interesting to see how people are willing to do whatever it takes now to get content out, by any means necessary. It doesn't matter how beautiful it looks, doesn't matter how polished it looks, as long as the content is out. And it's interesting to see how people are running and gunning it right now,
right,
and not giving a damn. So it was really cool to see. Like, I mean, of course, when you get to see like Mariah Carey's living room type of thing, or her closet that she called her studio, it's cool to see people in their natural habitat in a way, when, and I don't mean to go off on a segue or off on a tangent, but it is really cool when you see these late night talk shows that are, you know what I'm saying? It's interesting when you see them at home.
Even SNL.
And I was going to talk about that in another segment too, SNL as well, which I don't, we'll talk about that later, but it's just interesting that everyone is just willing to take away the production value of things and just do things for entertainment's sake, and just saying, who cares? It doesn't matter, because we all are in this situation. So don't expect the content to be polished and beautiful and perfect. Just enjoy the story, just enjoy the content. So it's interesting to me how, like, Joel Osteen, he still did his service in his church, his mega church, he has like an arena, for crying out loud, but how everybody still got together and they were still able to put something together that was really, really, really nice, Yeah. I'm thinking about something. I was talking to Jack about this late last night. I'm thinking about something. I'm just going to say it out loud. So I've been thinking about doing a Pascal-a-thon, like a fundraiser event to help raise money towards furloughed workers in the essential and non-essential departments. So I don't know. I was just throwing that out there, seeing what you guys think, because that's something I don't know. Just trying to figure it out. See if it's something worth doing, Like this past weekend, I was part of an event called the Streamathon. And they were raising money, basically the same thing, raising money towards people who are towards like a COVID-19 relief. And I just keep thinking, like, yeah, they raised $30,000, which I found out, Jack. They raised $30,000, over $30,000, which is great. But I feel like that's just the tip of the iceberg of what people really need. There's a lot of people out there that have no money. And it's not only just one area, one department. There are other businesses and other people that are out of work right now because everyone's furloughed because of this pandemic. So I keep thinking of what ways I can do, to help to at least, maybe it's me throwing a penny in a very, very large ocean of debt, but at least it's a penny. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's something I've been thinking about, and I got hit through Instagram, just a quick side story, and it sparked this idea even more, because I was like, at first, a few days before this, I was like, I would like to do something. And then I got a direct message on Instagram, basically like saying, yo, Pascal, you should do something yourself. You should do a Streamathon as well, of some sort, and help contribute, because there's a lot of businesses, especially there's a lot of black businesses, that are not getting a lot of light during these dark times, So I don't know. Throwing it out to you guys. Let me know what you think.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. get some live performances on there, get some, music and some comedians calling in, other just business owners that maybe are doing similar giveaways or things like that to help raise awareness for it. But I think that you have enough people that you could contact, and there's probably a whole bunch of people out there that want to get involved. And just by reaching out just a general like feelers, I'm sure that you'd be able to pack full, more than enough time. But what are you gonna stay up for like 72 hours?
Hail to the no. No. Hail to the no. No, I wasn't thinking like that. I mean, I don't know if it would be a stream-a-thon. Like, I don't think it would be like a telethon type of thing where we're killing ourselves to stay up and all that. I thought of just something, maybe it's an event that's longer than just, maybe that is something that's longer than just a few, I don't know, man. Maybe it's something that's just, longer than just a few hours, but maybe it takes up the whole day or something like that. But, the whole overnight type of thing, I don't know if that really helps. I don't know if that kind of thing happens. And then you got people who are coming in to maybe host, co-host, help out the whole thing. I mean, that's a lot of work overnight. The overnight part is the tough part. Yeah. And it makes you wonder if there are people that are wanting to do that kind of thing, that are willing to do that. Or that are staying up, that are going, ooh, itching, they got an itch in their pocket at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it's just something to think about. I haven't made a decision about anything yet, of course. But it's something I'm just, I'm just letting it roll around in my head and just see what kind of comes of it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Because not only just our city, there are other cities that are in pain and need money too. So I'm like, I know I'm not I know I'm not Jerry Lewis up in this piece, but I keep thinking that there's so many other cities and so many other there's a lot of people in this country, not just in St. Louis, that need financial help. So I'm like, if I could find a way to help, I would love to be able to help, but obviously I gotta think smaller. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
something to think about.
Maybe think small, but a whole bunch of small, so it becomes really big. I think that it could be because this isn't gonna be over real quick, and people are gonna need help, not just tomorrow. They're gonna need help in 2 weeks and in a month. So I bet you it's something that you have enough interest from people that you could put this on and make it like a series, like every Friday's, fundraiser Friday,
right?
Something like that.
Actually, that's not a bad idea either. I mean, I guess that goes out to the people that are watching right now too. It's a thing of, if we were to put down a some sort of Cash App account or something like that, would you guys actually tip or contribute to help not only the show, but also other people that are trying to get through these tough times? You know what I mean? I guess that's the other question that, to put out there as well, because like I said, there's a lot of, this is a business as well. As much as we like to say it's not, it is a business, but of course I want to be able to help and contribute as much as possible and give people as much love as possible as well, because there's a lot of people that really need it. A lot of people need it right now, for
That's
sure.
True.
For sure. So definitely, comment down below. Definitely comment down below and let me know what you think. Just in a little bit, we do have the very amazing cast of The Ghost Who Walks will be here in a little bit. I'm very excited at 10 o'clock. I'm very excited. We're going to be talking about this whole movie, the process, how they made it, the whole nine. And what's incredible about this movie is that this movie was made in St. Louis, my hometown, which I'm very excited about because, St. Louis doesn't really get to see movies made here, period, ever. So the fact that it's been made here makes it so interesting, and I cannot wait to talk to the two main stars of the movie and the writer and director of the movie, Cody Stokes, because it was a really fun movie. I wouldn't say fun in the sense of like ha ha, but it was just entertaining. You know, there was a lot that was going on in the movie, and I highly recommend going and seeing the movie. It's definitely unique. It's definitely different. It's a really good movie. So go check it out, especially for this being this writer and director's first time. It's his first feature film is amazing. And I definitely, for all you filmmakers that are watching this as well, that are interested in finding out, hey, how did he make this movie in the first place? How did he get it on Netflix? We're going to be asking him all those questions on the show here today. So be sure to tune in, because that's going to be a very, very good one. And that happens in a couple minutes. So I'm excited about that for sure.
That should be really good. I don't have Netflix, but I'm sure it's amazing.
Well, you know what? I'll take a shot of it the entire time, and then I'll send. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to bootleg that movie. You know, I won't do it. I won't do it.
Yeah, I know. Someone's out there.
Somebody's out there.
Camcorder.
Yes, there's a.
I'll send you a copy, Jack.
Exactly. There we go. Also, we do have a musical performance today by saxophonist Vinnis Bryant III, which is going to be dope too. He's going to be on at the 11 o'clock hour. So, today is going to be a unique show. I'm trying to, I'm working on bringing elements back from the show how it used to be. So last week was bringing in the segments. This week is bringing in the music and the musical talent that we have and the musical talent that I know that are throughout this entire country, let alone my own city. There's so many talented people. It's ridiculous. And so many artists out there that are wanting to perform, that are itching to perform, even if it's in their own living room. There are a lot of people out here that want to perform. So definitely you want to tune in for that, because that's going to be a very, very special performance for sure. And he's our very first performance during the quarantine time. All right. So Vinnis Bryant III will be performing here at the 11 o'clock hour, which is going to be dope as hell. So get ready for it. It's going to be insane. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we'll be sitting down with the cast and director of The Ghost Who Walks. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring, because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us in this community. All of you people different to me.
Hey, take up your glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds and love so unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stolen the road and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination, Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range to you. So if you get hungry, come on by.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I just don't know which one is him, but I mean, I can try one and see. Because apparently there's a lot of Cody Stokes in the world.
Oh, I wonder if...
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us have in this community. All the good people different to me.
Hey, take up in glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds and love so unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range to you. So if you get hungry, come on by.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go click that like button on our Facebook page. We do have a YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/The Pascal Show. Anyway, I'm very, very honored to have these gentlemen on the show. But before I do that, I got to throw this up because we got to put this in here. We have some of the cast members, some of the stars, and the writer-director of The Ghost Who Walks. It is streaming now, right now, on Netflix. And I cannot tell you enough about how badly you guys need to go and see this movie. That's all I'm going to say. But I am very honored to have them on the show with me today. We have Cody Stokes, the writer, director of the movie. We have Franklin Mosley, one of the actors, and also Garland Scott, one of the main actors. These are the two stars of the show. So anyway, I just wanted to say, first off, thank you guys so much for coming on. This really does mean a lot. I know that there's a lot of people that have a tremendous amount of questions for you in regards to the movie. But first, I got to ask you, Cody, first things first. How did you come up with the concept of this movie in the first place?
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for having us. We're really thrilled to be here today.
Anytime, brother.
I first, in terms of how I came up with the concept for the film, I first started thinking about this particular story when I was living in New York, and I have two kids now, but my oldest was born in New York, and my day-to-day kind of money-making activity is I'm a commercial director, so that keeps me on the road a lot. Mm-hmm. And I knew, I was suddenly faced with a whole new life of having a small child and being away, and especially in those early years, you miss a lot. You know that you're missing it. And so I started thinking a lot about that. And I knew I wanted to tell a story about that, but I also knew I wanted to make it exciting and fun and entertaining like a good movie should be. So I really started thinking about, well, how do I make this movie? How do I make a movie about fatherhood, but wrap it up in an action thriller shell, so to speak? And that's kind of where the seed of this film came from early on.
Right on, right on. And because I also saw a little bit of just from the certain things that you guys put into the movie, like the leather jacket, the leather trench coat he was wearing, that kind of thing, that it had a little bit of a throwback to some 70s type of style. I mean, of course, I'm speaking out of turn. I'm not the one who created this movie, but it just seemed like it had a little bit of that 70s grittiness to it, and like that jacket, especially that jacket that he wore.
Sure.
It was just very interesting, like interesting touches that you put in there that I found very fascinating in regards to the movie.
It was described by Frank, I think, recently as having a dirty twinkle, and I thought that was a pretty great description to the overall vibe of the film.
Yeah.
I think one thing that adds to that as well is, we shot the film here in St. Louis, Missouri, and one thing, I'm from here, I grew up here, and one thing I really love about getting to shoot a film here is we live in this city that's just completely, it's an untapped visual landscape when you talk about it in terms of, bigger films that we've seen in the world. You're normally seeing New York, you're normally seeing LA, or maybe sometimes Chicago, or nowadays Atlanta, right?
Right.
And what I think that does is it gave us this world to create and inhabit. We certainly weren't trying to say, hey, this is specifically St. Louis, but you kind of felt that Rust Belt America. And when you look at a lot of what's happening there, yes, we had that in the wardrobe as well, but the city kind of has this great quality where it's a modern city, but has this like slightly nostalgic vibe at times. And we really leaned into that. And I think a lot of what we did with costume and everything else was informed by that. And then, of course, to your point, I mean, there's a certain element of genre to this film, right? And I think a lot of movies that we referenced as filmmakers in our conversations harken back to the 60s, 70s. You could look at something like Taxi Driver, or a big reference for me at least was Midnight Cowboy, which is not an action movie by any means, but just like the kind of the filth and the grit and the type of characters and relationships. Those were things that I thought a lot about when designing elements of it.
That's wild, because to me, it felt like there was a little bit of it wasn't all the way in. It's not like you just put the pedal to the floor, but it did have a little bit more, to me as well, that blaxploitation type of, those blaxploitation movies type of theme, that type of vibe. Like when I was saying with the jacket, just how he smokes a cigarette with no filter, this is going to be as raw as it can get. You know what I'm saying? Within the themes that you had within the movie as well, which I thought was very interesting. But obviously, that's how I took the movie, of course. You know what I'm saying? So I could be completely wrong. But
I would know. I'm not.
Go ahead.
By no means is that wrong. I mean, I definitely, I didn't set out to make obviously a blaxploitation film by any means. I'm not the one to be making that, but I think I did set out to make. I did set out to make a very raw film, and. So there was all these elements, like, for example, smoking with the filters torn off. That's just based off a guy I knew. And I just, talk about disregard for longevity, he's getting right to it. And I wanted, there's a lot of smoking in the film. And I think that that's a symbolic thing of that is, you're going for a short-term choice here. And in the film, Garland's character, Nolan, is going for an even shorter-term choice. He's just raw on every count. And I think... Yeah. I've gotten that comment a lot in terms of like a throwback to like more of a blaxploitation film. And again, that was not at all my intention going into this, but I think that just speaks to, you have so many iconic characters from that canon of films, and Garland was able to bring something to this character that makes him iconic in that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that thankfully, when people have talked to me about it, it's in a very positive, excited way. But I just want to be clear that that is something that Garland was able to create because he himself is so magnetic on film, and I'm just the benefactor of having gotten to work with him in that way.
Yeah, and and of course, it's so. Like I said, it was a really, really great film, and I love that you shot it right in St. Louis and all that. And of course, we're going to get into that a little bit here in a second. But I got to throw it to the gentleman over here, the actors, all right? Franklin, Mosley, and Garland Scott. I got to ask you guys, wow. First off, how did you stumble upon these roles in the first place?
Garland, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Actually, I received the audition in the form of a self-tape, and it was really quick. It was a really quick turnaround, and my agent sent it to me. And when I did the audition, I think it was a little while later, I got a call from my agent that Cody wanted to meet up, and normally they do a few rounds of these things. You know, you have your callbacks, your double callbacks, and then you have your finals. Cody kind of knew what he wanted, and he took the time to just meet with me. So he came out to LA, and we had a conversation at a coffee house. We just chopped it up for about maybe 2-3 hours, just talking about character and his purpose behind making the film, wanting to make the film, and the script and his drive as being a father, and the core of it being about him wanting to spend time with his daughter. And he built this noir film around this thing. And I thought it was such a powerful story. Mm-hmm. And it was something that anyone can relate to. I really wanted to do it. The thing is, I didn't read the entire script because all I had were the sides.
Right.
And he was a bit confused because he thought I received the actual script before he spoke to me, and he told me to read the script and see if I liked it, and if I did, we'll continue the conversation. And I read it that night, and I didn't go to sleep. I read it, I took notes. I hit him up with maybe a 2-page long email talking about how much I love the script and I wanted to do it.
Right.
And he said, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I mean, he knew what he wanted. It was relatively simple. The process was us connecting together as people. And when we did that, we knew that we wanted to create great work. And that's where everything started with us.
That's dope. All right, Franklin.
Yeah, Cody and I, we are old friends, and we'd collaborate on a couple of films for a while, in fact. So I occasionally write and direct my own films, and so I had written and directed a short a few years prior that I had pulled Cody on to DP for me, and that was our first really close time working together. Before that, we'd worked on a feature I'd acted in. He'd shot that, and that was kind of the first time we're on the same set together. We're okay, we like each other's vibe, we get each other, we're on the same wavelength. It was easy to communicate ideas with each other. Mm. And so after we did my short, he had told me about this noir story that originally was a short film. And it was really, without giving anything away about the movie, it was really just the ending scene of the feature film that it is now. And that was the scene. And it was a short story, and I read it. I was like, this is incredible. And he knows that I love hard-boiled crime stories and noir films, and that's way up my alley, And so read that, and he said, well, I want to make it. And he goes, but I'm thinking about making it into a feature and then starting from the end and working backward. And so that got me really excited. And so a few months later, maybe it was a year later, I can't remember, he was like, well, hey, I got this script now. I got it put together. And he goes, but there's a role in there for you that I'd like for you to play. Yeah. And what a role it was, because it was such a gift. Yeah. To get that from one of your best friends who has seen what you can do, knows what you can do. And I think I'd gotten into kind of this rut of, and not even a rut because I'm thankful, but I'd been playing a lot of deeply internalized characters and characters who are really restrained and don't emote a lot. And so Cody gave me this thing where he said, I want you to go hog wild. This is a guy who's just this wild creature. Yeah. He's, constantly emoting, constantly jabbering. Yeah. And he goes, I want you to have fun and do something different. Do something that maybe people haven't seen you do before. Maybe you haven't even done before yourself. And it was such a gift because it was all there on the page. And then getting to work with such a great team was awesome. I didn't really know anybody but Alexia Rasmussen, who plays Lena in the film. She was the only other person I knew aside from Cody. And so Garland and I didn't even really have any prep time. Like he came in to shoot. He and I had some whiskey a few days before, and we just like got to being friends immediately. We're like, we need to like get to it because our friends have a history in this film.
Right on.
And we got to make sure that translates on screen. And it was easy with Garland because he's such an incredible person and wonderful actor. So
what I love about it is the chemistry that you guys have. You obviously can see that it's years of friendship, you know, and what's really cool is that, you know, obviously you just said that you guys have never met until this project, and the fact that you guys were able to translate that energy onto that film is really, really amazing. You know, I got to be honest, I'm watching this movie, and this is a huge shout out to you, Cody. I was like, this was in St. Louis? Like, I literally was like, damn. Because I saw some stuff, and I'm like, this is not what St. Louis is not known for having, you know, this kind of content, you know, like this caliber of content. So the fact that this was done all in I'm looking at stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's Central West End. Oh, that's definitely Soulard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm seeing all these streets and these corners and all that. I'm like, dang, this really is St. Louis. This is amazing, man. And I'm like, these guys are in St. Louis? This is a lie. He flew in some LA actors for sure. This is a lie. But you guys are all St. Louis actors, correct? You guys are all based out of St. Louis, right?
No, actually, yeah.
We're living the lie right now, Pascal.
Oh,
yeah.
So hold on.
So where are you guys in? Yeah.
Frank and Garland did come in.
Dang.
Yeah. However, I do want to give a shout out because there was a lot of really great St. Louis actors in the movie.
Yeah, Leland, my boy Leland. You know.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a really, really strong theater scene in St. Louis, and there's a growing film scene as well. But we were able to utilize a lot of just really great talent that was already here.
Yeah.
So Linda Kennedy being kind of obviously paramount on that list. We lost her last year, unfortunately, but she was a staple of the Black Repertoire Theater in St. Louis, and just like a powerhouse actor that we all knew about. Dennis Levy as well, who I'd worked with previously. Peter Mayer, who's in the film as well, is just great. I mean, these are kind of like, local legends that I think were just underutilized. And so for us to get to work with them was a really great thrill for me as a director, because I've been around. I'm from here. I live here. I know who they were, or I know who they are, and they didn't know who I was before this, but we got to meet, And then there's like some new figures. I mean, Curtis York, who, didn't have a deep resume of experience, but is just kind of a great personality and a great person to work with. I mean, we were able to bring in a lot of new people, and I think the big thing in building the cast and shooting the movie here is, like Garland said, I went out to LA to meet him because it was evident. Garland was actually the very first tape that was sent in for the role. And there was a lot that were sent in, but I just couldn't get over that first tape. And me going out to meet him was more about, hey, do we connect as people? Can we work the way we need to work? I mean, the film looks big, but it was a really scrappy film to make. It was a lot of very long hours, very hard work. And for me, when I'm thinking about who I want to work with, obviously from an actor standpoint, the character has to be there, the talent has to be there. But beyond that, I want to know, can we get along? Can we put the same kind of work in together? And so, a lot of actors were involved in the movie, and they were all involved because they had that ethos. But Garland and Frank definitely were the people who I was spending the most time with, and were paramount in that. But then when I think about the city, St. Louis was kind of that kind of character for us as well. I mean, it's a city we know well, and it opened its arms to us, and we couldn't have pulled this movie off if we had tried to shoot it somewhere else.
Right.
Anyway, and that's something I really admired about shooting it here as well.
Yeah. Well, and of course I got to ask you then, why St. Louis? Why St. Louis of all places? Why did you pick St. Louis? Why not shoot it in Atlanta or New York or LA? Why here?
Because I'm from here, and I think that, if you don't support where you're from, if you don't try to put the energy into where you're from, how could you expect anything to ever change? And, St. Louis is a great aggregator of talent, and people come up and they have all these skills, and then we all move away. I mean, I myself even moved to New York at the beginning of my career, and I still do. I work out of New York and LA, but I work here as well, and I live here because my family's here. It's a great place to live, and I think, you know, if you don't kind of put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and do the work where you are, how is the work ever going to come? And I think there's a lot of great people doing that. I'm by no means am I the only one doing that, but I had this opportunity to make that choice to shoot it somewhere, and I chose to do it here.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I really, you know, I commend you for doing that, because, you know, there's a lot of, like myself, you know, I'm a filmmaker as well, being able to say, like, that you were able to shoot everything here in your hometown and it not entirely look like your hometown is amazing. So I do have to say, as far as the look and the way it was shot, who was the actual DP? Was that somebody local, or was that somebody that came in for the project as well?
No, it was someone, again, a fellow Midwesterner. He's from Minnesota, but he lives out in LA. He's someone I'd worked with for years, named Michael Lockridge. And a lot of the crew that I worked with on this film are people that I've spent a lot of time making commercials with. And this was an opportunity, you know, after commercial work's great. I don't mean to speak ill of that, but, you know, it's a different type of work than making a film.
Right.
And there's a lot of times, for a variety of reasons, you know, you're not going to make a dog food commercial that is in a back alley dark night. You know, that's just never going to happen. So for us, there's a lot of things that we shared aesthetically that we, you know, enjoyed and wanted to try out. And this film was kind of a chance to work together on something that fulfilled, you know, scratched that itch. And that's, we were able to build up to this, but he's from LA as well.
Right. So fellas, Frank, Garland, let me ask you this. In regards to being not from here, since I'm now corrected, because I thought you guys were from St. Louis, given the fact that you were plopped into a new city that you've never been to, what was it like to adjust, you know, to adjust to the surroundings and act like this is your hometown?
I think for me, yeah, it wasn't like, it wasn't really like having to adjust, because for one, I think even though it is a real place, it's a real city, I flew in and we immediately started working. And so there wasn't really an adjustment period for me to kind of like, for me, it was suddenly the story is St. Louis, and St. Louis is the story. Like, this is where we're at. And so we're just immediately thrust into it and sink or swim. And so we just were immediately in work mode. I mean, I think the day I flew in, I also started shooting. So there wasn't really like any downtime to just kind of really adjust. And maybe, I think there were a couple days off where I got to kind of explore the city here or there, maybe later on once we kind of got deeper into shooting, which I love St. Louis. I had shot actually out in Stanberry, Missouri, with a mutual friend of Cody and I's named Blake Eckert many years back. And he's actually the one that got me in touch with Cody. And so I'd been out there, but I'd never been to St. Louis. But I went to, what was it, the Tivoli? Is that the movie theater?
The Tivoli?
Yeah.
The Tivoli.
Tivoli. Yeah. It's coming out of me. But yeah, I went there on an off day, I remember, and saw a movie and just got to like get some lunch and be among the locals, which was great. But I had a great time shooting that city.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Garland?
Yeah. Like, I came in ready to work. It was it's interesting. I'm from Detroit. So when I came to St., it almost felt like I was back home in a way. The two cities share a lot of similarities. And being from there and coming to St. Louis, it almost felt like I was going back home in a way, being from the Midwest. So being prepared to work and coming there, it kind of felt like I slid right into an old habit in a way. So it was really easy for me to adjust.
That's good. That's really, really good. And of course, you know, for you guys, actors, again, I got to ask you, because obviously, you know, as Cody said, you guys kind of were running and gunning in a way. It's completely different. It's a different approach. So I got to ask you, what was the hardest scene to actually shoot during the filming of this movie for you guys?
You want to take this one
Don't
first,
worry,
or-
I'll wait.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess for me, overall in general, there was as with any role, there's different energy levels for a character, and so this was definitely it felt like a marathon at times playing this role because there was a constant high energy. And then in terms of excitement and eagerness and, just the constant chattering. So that in itself was like keeping your energy up was key. But then once, without giving too much away as the movie goes on, once that energy, excited energy dies down, it doesn't become any less intense. It just becomes a different kind of energy because then it turns into something else. And there's a scene that Garland and I have that's in a really crummy bathroom. That took a lot for me to kind of get into the headspace for. But it was all there on the page, and it was Cody runs such a tight ship, and everybody was so kind and aware and respectful. And in all the scenes, any of the scenes in the film that I was watching, other people do of intimacy, they were all so respectful and so gentle the way they were taken care of. And then having a scene partner like Garland for a scene like that was all I needed. And then you just do the work, you do the scene, but you know that you're in good hands. You know that you have friends around you. So that was probably my toughest scene to get into the headspace for, and then to know we were going to do several takes, several angles.
Yeah.
Of it to capture the whole scene.
Yeah.
So that was the toughest thing, maybe, for me.
Garland?
Without giving it away, I'm gonna have to just jump on what he said.
Okay.
The bathroom scene. I don't want to get. But
totally fair enough.
It was challenging in a way that you have this character who moves between different relationships, and he has a very, very singular focus. But even though he has this energy of where he lives within this certain kind of world, he has to be open and sensitive to a friend that he cares about in this dynamic moment in time for him. So as he's moving through things and all these things are happening to him, he has to have this time for his friend and be there in this moment. That shift was very interesting for me because I had to be vulnerable in a way while maintaining a firm hand in my purpose,
Right.
So that was something that, the repetition of that scene helped us get to a very good spot, I believe.
I totally understand. And of course, don't say anymore. I don't want to ruin anything for any of the people that are about to watch this movie, for sure. And Cody, I'm not going to ask you the question because every scene, I'm sure, was the hardest scene for you. I mean, come on. Directing the thing was, I'm sure, not an easy feat to begin with, I'm sure. And of course, the cast and crew were just dealing with, I'm sure, all types of different things like the weather. Because St. Louis weather is not, it's not very forgiving. Am I right, guys? It's cold. No. There's cold and then there's cold, and we cold over here. So trust.
And I'm from Texas. Texas.
So you don't even know.
That was a big jump for me.
Yeah, you don't even know, son.
Yeah.
You don't even know. Real quick, we do have a lot of people. Sid on Facebook said, "Y'all are the ish," because I can't curse, of course. It's a banger movie. Somebody says, "Shout out to the cast and crew of Ghost Who Walks." So definitely huge shout out. And of course, if anybody who's watching right now, please comment down below. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I got a few more questions, of course. So definitely, start typing, get it all out there. This question goes out to my brother, Cody, for sure. Because I know there's a lot of filmmakers out there. There's a ton of filmmakers out there that all are asking the same question as I am right now. How in the world did you get this movie on Netflix?
Sure, yeah. I probably have a bad answer to that, but no, we made the film, and like a lot of independent films, we spent a year working through the festival circuit. You know,
Okay.
that was always part of the plan. We knew that was going to be something we were going to have to face. And you know, when you don't have a studio behind your work, or you yourself are not a name, or your cast are particularly not known, it doesn't mean the film doesn't have value. It just means you have to do the work to find the people who can see that value. So, you know, we like I said, did the festival circuit, and during that time, we were able to bring on a sales agent who pretty much a sales agent's job, or sometimes they're called a producer's rep. They take the film, and they're kind of, you know, there's a lot of middlemen within the industry who kind of help. There's so many films being made that those people help kind of bring it through a door. It's kind of like having an agent or something. And so they were able to go out and shop it to different distribution companies. And ultimately we signed with a distribution company called Gravitas Ventures, which is, you know, they sell a lot of movies, and it was, you know, all things considered, it was a really good fit for us. And it was actually them that brokered the deal with Netflix. So we came out on Christmas Eve in 2019, just on all transactional. So anyway, you would buy or rent a movie, like on Amazon or iTunes, or there's so many platforms now, but kind of across all those platforms. And when you distribute a film, they'll usually start by doing that, and they'll give it some time on those platforms so that they can get their stats and kind of get a sense of how the movie's performing. And then they take that information, and they are the ones that go kind of make the deals. And so the blow for blow ins and outs of how they made the deal, I can't really speak to that, but I know for us, our path was through this distribution company. For other filmmakers, I mean, you can try to go to Netflix, because sometimes you'll see a film that says like Netflix originals or something like that, and that's something that's only going through them. That just wasn't our path. And so, I mean, either way, we're really thrilled to be on there. So it was timing. It was funny. I mean, the way we even found out about it though was, you know, one day our movie was just on coming soon. So it was kind of, I mean, it was really out of the blue for us.
Yeah.
Since we spent so many years doing every little thing for the movie, you know, not just like cast, but the crew, the producers. I mean, like every single day is something on the movie. And then you make this deal with the distribution company, and they're doing their job, but you're not part of the day-to-day of that anymore. And then your movie just shows up somewhere. So we knew it was
cool.
Come out on. Yeah, I mean, it was obviously, it's never a bad deal when your movie just shows up on Netflix. And then for us, last week, we were actually one of the top 10 films in the U.S. for several days in a row. And that truly was, you know, when you got on Netflix, that was a goal of ours, right? Like, we set out to make a solid movie, and we were still excited, but it wasn't a shock to us. It was like, great. The work we put in has been, you know, through all these years, been recognized in the way that we hoped it would. But it was a shock, at least to me. I'll let you guys, Garland, Frank, you can speak to it yourself. To find yourself in the top 10, that just means that there's an audience.
Right.
There's an audience watching this film that if they found it on their own. I mean, the one thing, you know, Netflix is a gatekeeper in the sense that you got to get in. It's like the Forbidden City. You got to get inside somehow. Yeah. But once you're in, subscribers get to choose what they're watching. You know, there's no longer, you know, there's algorithms and all that stuff that they're doing, but the fact is, people can watch a movie, and you can say to your friend, like, hey, I watched this movie, and it's right there for you to stream. Right. And us getting in the top 10 was a clear indicator that people were talking about it, and that really that was really rewarding to see that kind of reaction.
Yeah. You know, and of course, obviously, once you've made the baby, you know, once you have your baby, and then you put it out in festivals, and then you kind of send it off to kindergarten school in a way, you know, or preschool or whatever, and you're going, okay, I'm gonna let it walk because it has its own legs now. The ghost who walks, but you have your own, like, you just kind of let it go and just kind of see how it blooms and how it's received and all that. And so far, people are really enjoying it, really embracing the movie tremendously. Before we go, one more question for you, Cody. How many versions of this movie have you edited? How many times did you have to re-edit the movie till you got to the final, picture lock?
So it's well. So we did. I'll do like the top level version of that. So we did. We had like a couple rounds of what I would call rough cuts, where you have the assembly edit, then you have your rough cut. Your assembly edit is just kind of put the shots together, see how it even looks. And at that point, you're not even really pacing as much. It's just like, do we have a movie? Of course we did. And then we did a rough cut. And so I worked with an editor named Nick Gartner. He and I worked together, and it was this process where I was able to put together an assembly from a director's point of view of like, hey, these are the takes. This is really how I'm feeling about this. But then I knew we needed to sharpen it a lot, and good editors are worth their weight in gold. So he went and made the first rough cut. And then that was probably the first cut we shared with people, our internal team, to say, hey, what's your take on this? How are we feeling about this? And then from there, he and I would just kind of go back and forth and make little tweaks. And so he lives in LA. He's from St. Louis, but he lives in LA now. And so I'd work on it here, and it would go back out there to him. And I spent a couple weeks out there with him as well. And so I would say, like, once we got through a second rough cut, then it really was pretty much the film that you see now. And that's when we got really into the minutia of like, hey, let's take these frames out of this shot, or they got really detailed at that point. So there's still a lot of editing being done, but the structure was really kind of solidified after probably those first two major cuts. And I think it's a road movie in a way, right? It's just a linear movie where things build scene after scene.
Mm-hmm.
So in some ways that was really limiting, but also really helpful, because you kind of knew what your structure was going to be. You couldn't just take a scene out without kind of making the bridge collapse a little bit. So it kind of, once we found that structure, that didn't get changed too much.
Okay. I see. And were you getting any special shout outs at all for the show? Like, were there any people like giving you reviews, anything of that sort, to help kind of push the actual movie at all?
Yeah, like during the production or just in general?
Just in general. Yeah,
so I think early on, I mean, we definitely had some conversation in the indie film world, and that's something, I've worked on several features as a DP and an editor. This is my first directorial feature, but I'd worked, as Frank said, with other people. So there was some people talking about it, but not necessarily in too big of a way.
Okay.
And then we were lucky enough to be able to take part in a thing called US in Progress, which is they do it 2 times a year. It's in Europe. And so we took once it's in Paris at the Champs-Élysées Film Festival, and the other one is in Poland at another film festival. And we were invited to be part of the Champs-Élysées Film Festival. So they bring 8 American films a year to this industry week during the film festival, where you don't show the whole film. You just show a couple scenes, and then the director gets up and pitches the film to the European market.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a jury award there, and we were able to win the jury award of that.
That's dope.
And that was definitely, I think, a catalyst for us in a lot of ways. We were still in post-production at the time.
Yeah.
So that was really something that was an indicator to a lot of people that helped us. And so it's been little things like that. I mean, not to make that sound too little, but like it's been small incremental things. There wasn't just one big moment for us. And I think that's kind of just the story of a lot of films, is it takes a lot of very small incremental steps to kind of get to the tipping point, Yeah.
Lots and lots of baby steps for sure. Yeah. Lots and lots of baby steps. Well, I just wanted to say, Franklin, Garland, Cody, thank you guys so much for coming onto the show. It really does mean a lot. I really look forward to seeing what the next project you guys end up putting together. I feel like you guys should do another one. All 3 of y'all should do another one.
Can't wait.
Quite. Definitely quite an ensemble right here, for sure. So I really look forward to it. Anytime. You guys stay blessed wherever corner of the earth you guys are at right now. Stay safe and stay healthy. And thank you again for being on the show today. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
it. Take care.
Peace.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. So, guys, I definitely highly recommend you guys go to your Netflix. If you don't have it, borrow a friend's password. Trust me, we all do it. And go check out The Ghost Who Walks. It is definitely worth the watch. One hell of a movie, and it's an original piece. It's not a DC comic. That's all I'm going to say about that. So go check it out. The Ghost Who Walks on Netflix. We'll be right back with more news. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us have in this community. All of you people different to me.
Take up your glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their selves and love so unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degrading for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination.
All right, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go click that like button on our Facebook page. And also, we are streaming live on YouTube as well. Go crush that subscribe button. It would really, really mean a lot. And here it is, guys. There are so many talented people in St. Louis. It's ridiculous. And what I love about that particular one is that he put everything he could, he put everything together, and he made his movie. He made what he wanted, you know? He wrote something, he thought it was really dope, found some friends, and put the movie together. And now it's on Netflix. And that's such an inspirational thing, you know? It goes to show to you that putting in hard work really does pay off, and go and chase your dreams. It's now or never, you know. Of course, I'm here with my boys, you know, Jackie and Tommy, Jackie Buck and Tommy Boy. What's good? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that interview.
That's really cool. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. You know, I really enjoyed it. It's an original piece. It's not something that was written by somebody else. It wasn't off a book or wasn't off a cartoon or a comic book. So being able to see something like that, something original, was really just awesome. This really, I don't know how to explain it. It felt like eating a steak when you hadn't had a steak in a really long time, because you've been eating cheeseburgers for years, you know? It was like, wow, this is what a steak tastes like again. Holy cow, I forgot about that. Like, oh, this is an original movie. This isn't a comic book movie. Wow, you know? It was like that, you know? I really appreciated just him doing something original, you know? And yeah, it was really, really good. And the other thing, though, too, is that there was a lot of intertwining between races, but there was no conversation about racial lines at all, which I really like too. Because a lot of movies that are turned into original pieces, especially if it's a black lead or something like that, there's a tendency to lean hard on, like, maybe the bad guy is, a racist of some sort, or there's some sort of acknowledgement that the lead is black in some sort of way, where this movie does not say that stuff at all, which I loved. I thought that was really cool. Like that character, the character that Garland Scott plays could have been any race, and it's, you know what I'm saying? Which obviously Garland kills it, but it could have been any race, long story short, which I really appreciated and really enjoyed as well. So yeah, it was just really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it a lot. So go check it out. Go see The Ghost Who Walks. It's definitely worth it, guys. It's definitely worth it. All right. But anyway, let's go into some news, because there's some stuff that I wanted to talk about, and it's driving me. This is some crazy stuff, y'all. I'm gonna keep it real straight funky with y'all. This is some stuff that I just found out this morning. I haven't been able to do much of a deep dive into it because it is still some news, and we had to start the show, and this is kind of a breaking news. So I asked Tom to kind of do a little bit of a deep dive for me. We do have some clips, so bear with me, because I'm multitasking several different things at the same time live. So the CNN's title for this is Africans in Guangzhou, right? Guangzhou. Okay, Guangzhou. Africans in Guangzhou are on edge after many are left homeless amid rising xenophobia as China fights a second wave of the Rona. All right, so the African community in Guangzhou is on edge after widespread accounts were shared on social media of people being left homeless this week as China's warnings against imported Rona virus cases stoke anti-foreigner sentiment. All right. So in the southern Chinese city, Africans have been evicted from their homes by landlords and turned away from hotels, despite many claiming that to have no recent travel history or known contact with COVID-19 patients. So the piece that I saw on YouTube this morning was a video of African Africans going to a McDonald's and being refused service inside of a Chinese McDonald's. All right. I mean, this is some real stuff, y'all. Of course, I got Tom to look at some of this, so to do more of a deep dive. So please, Tom, please speak on this, because this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, ever.
Yeah.
So please.
It's some crazy stuff. I guess there had been some outbreaks in, there had been some cases. The Chinese are worried about a second wave of coronavirus coming through, and, because they say they've kind of gotten it under control now. Now, what you believe from the Chinese government is up to you. But they're worried about a second wave of outbreak, and the scapegoat they're making from this is foreigners, more specifically African foreigners living in China. So there have been Africans in China that have been quarantined for 14 days in their homes, despite having no symptom contact with any patients. Even after they're cleared of having coronavirus, they're given a certificate that says, I'm clear of coronavirus, no need to worry about me. They're presenting these at hotels to try and find places to stay. Hotels are still rejecting them out of hand just because they're foreigners. They're being evicted from their homes. So it's just an ugly situation there where they're really being made the scapegoat of the coronavirus.
I read a couple of quotes here that I saw that said, they're chasing us away. We are just walking on the road. They are not giving us houses. They're not giving us hotels. They don't want us to stay at one place.
Yeah.
And another guy said that I have been sleeping under the bridge for 4 days with no food to eat. I cannot buy food anywhere. No shops or restaurants will serve me.
This is ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff that really, like, this is the stuff that really burns my cookies, y'all. Because we're in a situation right now all over the globe where we all need to be safe. We all universally deserve shelter, food, the whole nine. There is no reason that China should be doing something like that to anyone. To anyone. If there's a second wave, allegedly, if there's a second wave, you can't just suddenly say that it's all coming from Africans. So let's just lock them up, or not lock them up. Let's just kick them out of their own private domiciles. If they paid for their time to stay there, they should have the right to stay there. No, this is what's so crazy. Is this now? This is my question to you guys. All right, is this something that is is this a government, is this a mandate that they just put out? Or is this just the general public trying to push out Africans out of China?
Well,
That's something to look up. Say that again.
The government certainly isn't protecting them from it. I mean, these are, they're sleeping out on the street. Okay. There's no evidence of the government asking landlords and hotels to turn away or reject foreigners, but these appear to be decisions made by private individuals and business owners.
This is private individuals. Okay.
Yeah, this is individuals. They say, there is no evidence that this is, encouraged by the government. But again, it's China, so take everything with a grain of salt.
Right. Okay, so I do have to pull this up because this is some ridiculous stuff, and like I said, this is completely unedited. So bear with me with this whole thing. This is a video that I found on YouTube, and we have got to see it for ourselves with our own two eyes. And I'm going to try to scrub through as much of it as I can because it is about a 4-minute video. So just bear with me. But I need you guys to see this with your own two eyes, or 3 eyes, or 4 eyes, depending on if you have glasses or a monocle or something. So anyway, here is the video.
Don't even allow foreigners not to eat in McDonald's now in China,
That's in the McDonald's right there.
Why can I see it? Like, you see how many empty spaces? They don't even want to let foreigners now to sit in McDonald's and eat.
Now, I want to pause that. I need to scroll back just a tiny bit. So please, this is what the notice says. We've been informed that from now on, Black people are not allowed to enter the restaurant. For the sake of your health, consciously notify the local police for medical isolation. Please understand the inconvenience and then caused whatever. Please understand the inconvenience caused. And then I guess the police number is the TEL 110. Okay, that's only one piece of it. Okay, there's more here in a second, but this is really what's going on in China right now as we speak. That literally is being written. That is a notice that one of the workers at McDonald's is holding right now. Let me continue. Unbelievable. Inside of a McDonald's. So, of course, she snatches it back. So, moving on, I'm going to try to scrub through this a little bit because there's more to this. There's a piece where these gentlemen are
because we are
arguing,
Africans, these people want to
are arguing with the hotel because they can't. They're trying to stay in their hotel. They're actually getting kicked out as we speak. This is the kind of injustices that are going on in the world right now as we speak. This is the most crazy stuff I've ever seen. I'm going to keep scrolling through. Black people getting arrested. Then this is the one that blew my mind. Right here.
Everybody's outside.
Right here. Check this trash out.
The Chinese police, they won't allow us to rest.
That is the Chinese police kicking and evicting Africans out of their places, I'm going to continue.
They took us away from our house. We don't have anywhere to live. They are pursuing us. Why? We are too many. We are too many. We are too many. We are too many. They keep pursuing us.
What the hell? Okay, I'm going to stop it there because it's just really getting me angry. But I got to keep it straight funky with y'all. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. This is the most inhumane thing I've ever seen. If people are sick, let's just say that some of those people are sick, they should be home. They should be quarantined inside of their homes. Suddenly the rights of these Africans don't exist anymore. Suddenly their rights have been taken away. All because of they allegedly are saying that these Africans are the ones that are spreading this virus. This is what the propaganda type stuff starts happening, and crazy stuff like the things that caused the Holocaust, the whole nine. Come on, guys. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Well, we shouldn't tell you about the Uyghurs then over there.
Say that again.
The Uyghurs are
what is that?
They're the Muslim minority. They're the Muslim minority in China. There are over 11 million Uyghurs, Muslims in China. 1 out of every 10 of them is currently detained in a re-education camp. So we're talking about how things could turn into the Holocaust. China already has detention centers for its Muslim minority where it's holding over 1 million people already. So China's already well down the path of totalitarian, racist, they're there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they already have there's already a lot of tension in China between Africans and Chinese. There's already racial tensions to begin with. But the thing is this doesn't make the situation any better. That still doesn't justify their reasons for doing what they're doing. They have no right. They should not have any right to do what they're doing right now. Just because if there's a second wave, that has nothing to do with Africans coming in. You don't push the people out that were already there to begin with. And if they show no signs, no symptoms, and if they've been tested and they've been cleared, there's no reason for you to be pushing anyone out, regardless if they're sick or not, But then, obviously they've kind of let go. They've lifted some of the restrictions in regards to their shutdowns. Now, even Stacy just said, which is very true, on YouTube, she commented, they reopened those nasty wet markets. That is very true. Those markets are back up and opened again, which is apparently ground zero of where the virus started to begin with bad iguana and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense to be so. The injustices of it all is just very frustrating to me. I would hope that this kind of habit or this kind of movement would not be clicked and dragged over to other countries. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
hope
I
not.
think it's the communist thing. They're definitely blaming whoever else they can besides the government. So, that's what their government's going to do, is place blame anywhere else outside of nationality. So they're going to have their scapegoats constantly. And that's just this week's, I guess.
It's just the flavor of the week? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
This is just the flavor of the week.
Or China, yes. And hopefully not for more.
That is some real stuff, y'all. And obviously in ways that's so terrible. And I hope to God this is something that is just a fad that gets quickly remedied. I hope this does not escalate into something worse. And I hope this does not turn into a fad or turn into a thing where every other country starts to follow in suit. because I know everybody out here, all these countries are trying to find some reason to, something to aim their frustration and anger at. And we have a history of doing that, everyone. But this is not the time to start bringing social injustices like that on to the playing field. It's ridiculous. It's it is completely unjust, and I pray for everybody out there in China, because we as a people, and I'm saying humankind, we as a people deserve equal rights on all levels. We all should be on an equal playing field right now, especially right now. Especially right now. This almost in a way should be having us hit zero. No race, no racism, no prejudices. We're all trying to survive. We're all trying to get through to the next day. We're all trying to get through this pandemic. This is not the time to start saying, oh, because of the color of his skin, we can't serve you anymore because you might have something that you're one of the causes of the outbreak. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
No. Especially from the country that, this all came out of to begin with. To be blaming other people, be scapegoating. I mean,
and that's exactly
to turn that around. You don't want any racism either way, but we've heard, about racist incidents against people from, Asian countries in Europe and in the United States. And, it looks like people over in China are being racist towards, you hate to say it. I guess there's probably always going to be that baseline of people that are going to try and find scapegoats, people that look different or believe different from them.
Yeah.
And
them. It's frustrating because even Debbie just said here, this is bringing the best in most and the worst in others. And it seems like it's a little bit of the opposite right now, Debbie. It seems like it's bringing the worst in most and the best in others. And China, of all places, should not be playing any type of scapegoat at all. They need to start setting an example. They need to lead by example. They need to lead by love, not by hate. Especially,
that's not really their MO.
Yeah, no, you're true. But we're in a world right now where we all are equal. We're all trying to get through this. This virus is completely colorblind and doesn't give a damn how much money you have in your pocket or what your ethnicity is. We need to be above all this, and China needs to be above this too. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. When we come back, it's the musical stylings of Vinnis Bryant III. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Oh, and keep the comments going down below. Let us know what you think. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, people different to me.
They take up in glass.
The festival is crazy, the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their self 'cause their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. There was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degrading for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range to you. So if you get hungry, come on by.
Commercial break one more time.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us have in this community. All the good people different to me.
They take up in glass.
The festival is crazy, the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their self 'cause their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. There was a feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degrading for people that's constantly hated.
Hey, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go click that like button on our Facebook page if you're watching there. And of course, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, shout out to all my YouTubers and everything. Please definitely crush that subscribe button. Get the conversation going down below. Get that chat moving and all of that. I do have somebody very, very special in the house today. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. Today is Music Monday. So I have a very special guest on the show. We have Vinnis Bryant III on the show. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Man, it's, same old thing, just staying busy, staying alive, staying healthy. How are you holding up? How are you holding up with everything?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm staying out of the way, staying healthy, staying as clean as I can. Everybody is being mindful of coronavirus. It's getting real.
It's getting real. Yeah.
It's getting real. And so I'm just I'm making sure that I keep healthy and honestly cherishing my friends and my family right now in a major way, because time moves without you wanting it to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I got to ask you, are you at work or something?
Well, so everything slowed down except for me.
Oh, right on, right on.
And I am, I'm actually in my work's break room right now. My job's break room. I'm off the clock today, but I had to stop by and still do some things for the company, and so I figured I might as well just sit up back here and get it done.
Nice. Look at you being all responsible and stuff. Look at that. You're like, hey,
I try my best, man.
I'm gonna help out, but let me play the sax real quick. You know what I mean? So I love that. That's dope. So what are you going to be performing for us today?
Today, I'm actually going to do something I think is really relevant to the times right now, just because of everything that's going on.
Okay.
I'm going to do one of my favorite songs from back in the day, way back before I was a twinkle in my grandmother's eye. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'm going to do a cover of that, man. And hopefully we'll be able to give some people some good inspiration, some feel good, make you love in your family, and for those who have lost loved ones or family to this amazing virus that's going around. And I don't say amazing to big it up, but it's just amazing how this is progressing through our communities. But to anyone who's lost someone to this, over the rainbow, where the blue skies are at, we're going to be able to meet up with our families and our loved ones again. And, we'll be able to talk about this moment and realize how life changed.
Awesome, man. Well, without further ado, Vinnis Bryant III, everybody. Yes. Oh, my Lord. Oh, thank you so much, Vinnis. Man, you have no idea that that was really beautiful, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
It's a thing that people need that stuff more often, man. Just something that just feels good and makes you feel positive and makes you feel like you can do anything. And that was very beautiful, man. I really appreciate you just taking in the time to do a very impromptu performance in the back office of your job. No, real talk. Real talk. That's huge, man. That's huge. That really does mean a lot, because there's a lot of people that are working really hard out there, especially the essential workers that are out there right now in healthcare services that are not able to take even a moment to, pick their head up and take a breath. So hopefully what you just did bless them as well. So I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. Big time.
I appreciate you for having me, man. It's an honor to be here. Just, when you put the message out on Facebook, I felt in my spirit that it was something positive and something that I wanted to be a part of, especially to, like you said, just draw some consideration to all of the essential employees, the healthcare professionals, the medical professionals, first responders, officers, all of the parents at home teaching their children, the single moms, the fathers, out there that really have stepped up to continue our communities moving forward. Things are tough, and it goes without saying. And one of the things that are really, really important to me is mental health, and that's really what I'm more concerned about now, even more so than the COVID-19 is mental health, because that's something that you don't see it, just like you don't see the COVID virus, and it'll hit you quick. And if what I did was able to give someone some inspiration to look to the next day, to look to the next moment, then it was absolutely worth it. And like I said, I'm honored to be here, man.
Yeah, brother. Thank you, Vinnis. It really means a lot. you keep doing that thing. All right. I would love to have you back on another time, another time again soon. Because I need to hear more. Even myself, on a selfish tip, I just need to hear more saxophone more in my life. You know what I'm saying? Real talk.
Well, if you wanna hear some more stuff, shameless plug.
Please go ahead.
Look for
Plug.
me on all of the digital platforms, whether you use Tidal, Google Play, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, all of it. Even if you're not from America, whatever streaming interface that you use, just search Vinnis Bryant, Vinnis Bryant, like Kobe. And all of my music is going to pop up there. I have a bunch of covers and I have some original music. My last two that came out this year, actually, As It Seems, is a song with my brother, Decipher. He did spoken word on that track, and then I produced it. And so we released that one in February. And then last week, I actually released Lay Me Down, which is a cover of Sam Smith's song. And that's out there also. So just, if you want to hear more sax, if you need some more sax in your life, man, put a playlist on, put some Vinnis Bryant on there, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, I love it. And of course, you're getting a lot of love. Jamaica says, beautiful job, Vinnis. On Facebook and on YouTube, Mrs. A. Brannon said, I agree with him. Mental health is very important. So, you're definitely striking a nerve in everybody that is watching right now as well. So, again, thank you, my brother. You stay blessed.
Thank you.
And I'll definitely be in touch with you here in the very, very
Absolutely.
near future.
We're going to talk soon.
All right, brother.
Absolutely.
Peace, brother.
All right.
But like I said, guys, there's so much talent out there. So many people out there that have so much talent. Vinnis Bryant III is just a small sample of how much talent there is out there in St. Louis and all over the country. So please, if you guys are out there, any performers, any artists, that kind of thing, that are interested in being a part of the show, being on the show, performing the whole nine, please contact us here at the Pascal Show. That would really, really mean a lot. I'm trying to showcase as many talented people as I can. All right. So anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. We will be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us in this community. All the good people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival's crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. We wasn't feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all of our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range too. So if you get hungry, come on by.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And by the way, Fleur says hi from New Zealand. So on Facebook, hello, New Zealand. How you doing? Shrimps on the bobby. or something like that. Anyway,
that's Australia. That's the Kiwis we're talking about there.
Yes, I know. I shouldn't be saying anything stupid like that. I should know better. But I do want to do a quick reminder to let everybody know. Sorry, I got to throw this graphic up. You know how it is. We are having a very special guest tomorrow. We have Richard Pryor Jr. on the show tomorrow morning. He'll be on at the 10 o'clock hour, so you definitely want to get your butts to come in and watch that particular show. Richard Pryor Jr. will be on the show live tomorrow. So, of course, if you guys have any questions in regards to him and all that and what he's up to and all that, please definitely be sure to tune in, because I will be asking questions live, answering your questions. If you pop any questions down below in the comment section, I will ask them so that he can answer them live on the show tomorrow. So, Richard Pryor Jr., tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Anyway, it's time for our question of the day. And today's question of the day is, let's see, if you could make a slogan, this thing's acting a fool, sorry. If you could make a slogan to describe your life, what would it be? And I know that we had a gang of people with a whole bunch of slogans that were just absolutely hilarious. So once again, if you could make a slogan to describe your life, what would it be? All right. So I know that we got a couple of things on Reddit. I know there's some people that commented underneath on our Facebook page as well. And also we do post these on our YouTube community page as well. So whenever you get a chance, guys, be sure to keep checking our community page on YouTube, because we put all of our questions and all the lineup of who we're going to have on the show and all that stuff on the community page. So, Jack, what's a guan?
Yeah, we got a few people that responded on Reddit.
To say the least.
So we got JLP Tech, who said, "Wubba lubba dub dub."
Yes. And if you don't know where that's from, that's from something very special. Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The words of Bird Person.
The word of Bird Person.
Yes. We have here's Johnny. 1921 says, "F this piece of SBS."
Ooh.
So, a delightful view on their life.
Yes, he's happy.
Kevin Hart, 12,000, saying depressing. I might commit. We have Bez Gamboa says cabin fever.
Ooh, and that's a good one. That's true. For right now.
For right now. Banana Dog says, "What the F am I supposed to do?" So I think a lot of people had that same sentiment here. Absinthe Minded says, "F sake, what now?"
That's a good one.
Rain Man 2395 says, "What a time to be alive."
Mm-hmm.
MB09876 Gaming says, "This feels accurate," and they linked a YouTube video of a kid crying.
That is so messed up, man.
We got Vincent Thirst UWU. He linked the thing to Slipknot's video on YouTube.
And what was that?
That one was for, let me see here. Slipknot, the negative one.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, is that the name of the song, or is that?
That's the name of the song. Yeah.
So it's not one of their uplifting songs, not one.
I don't believe so.
Not one of Slipknot's inspirational pieces. Got it.
No, their other album. So. Suave Aficionado says, "Still could be worse."
Yeah, still could be worse. Hey, that's that's a very good point right there. I like that one too, because I mean, it still could be worse.
Yeah.
We could be in China right now, for all of us black people, we could be in China getting kicked out of our homes right now because we're black. So I guess it could be worse. Outside of China, it could be worse. So that's actually a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Got a God12321 says there's ups and downs, a lot more downs, but the ups almost make it better.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what's the one? Something like you won't appreciate the sweet, like something like you can't take the sour without, or you can't take the sweet without the sour, or you can't enjoy the sweet without the sour. Something like that. It's some phrase. But anyway,
yeah,
that's a good one
Don't know
too.
what you got until it's gone. Is that it?
That one too. Like freedom, like freedom, like freedom. Yeah. Oh, let me read a couple over here. So James said, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Accentuate the positives, eliminate the negatives. Let's see. I don't know if I could read this out loud. Suicide is painless. It brings on many changes.
From MASH.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that the
a good
MASH
one.
lyrics?
Ooh, thank you. Oh yes.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, you were saying, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, keep the comments rolling.
We also have,
Definitely keep the comments rolling. So don't be shy. Keep them going. Sorry, keep going, Jack.
yeah. We also got Max Burr 3 says, "Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again."
Hello, darkness,
and
my
then,
old friend.
Crazinator 5 says, "Computer now, school later." So that's what we got there on Reddit.
That's hilarious, though. That's really funny. Okay. Mrs. A said, "Hello, Miss A. Thank you so much." Miss A said, "You can enjoy the sweet without this. You can enjoy the sweet without the bitter."
There you go.
Oh, I think she meant you can't enjoy the sweet without the bitter, or you can't enjoy the sweet without the sour. I think that's what she was trying to say, unless she was just trying to be creative and just do something else.
Right.
Anyway, so guys, I gotta ask you, what would it be for you guys? What's the slogan?
That's it.
Meh. Meh. Something like that.
I mean, you could go the work hard, play hard. It's always been like one of those things that I've kind of, I guess, done. But I don't know what the slogan in general. Be nice. I think that's probably.
Don't worry, be happy.
Got some simple ones. That's
I got one. I got one for Charlie.
ABC 1, 2, 3.
I got one for Charlie Sheen. Coke is it. Get it?
Crack is whack.
Crack is whack. Crack is cheap. Tom, how about you?
I don't know. I was thinking slogan. I was thinking more like if I were a brand being sold, what would my slogan be?
Right.
So, I mean, the one that came to mind was like napping now so you don't have to, or something like.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Napping now so you don't have to.
Take a nap so you don't have to. Yeah, I'll do your napping for you.
He'd rather be napping.
Yeah, I'd rather be napping. There we go. Yeah, I'd rather be napping.
Is that a bumper sticker?
Could be.
That could.
You see the car kind of like listing all the way over to the median, and like, oh, I think that guy might be napping.
Ish happens.
It'd be good on a Tesla.
Ish happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah.
Also, we gonna be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Keep calm. And keep calm.
Yeah. Don't panic. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Don't panic.
There you go. Don't panic. Don't panic. Everything's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. Now you tell me that he got killed by his own country? That's so weird. Conspiracy theories. Wild. But yeah, so keep the comments down below, going down below. I definitely would love to know you guys' thoughts and what your slogan would be. All right. We have a new person commenting on our YouTube channel. So Miss A, how you doing? Thank you so much for being a part of the discussion. And Debbie, I have to ask Jamie Farr. Who is Jamie Farr? I just have to ask that because she just said Jamie Farr made a movie in my bar back in the 80s. I have no idea. Who is Jamie Farr?
He was on MASH. He played Maxwell Q. Klinger on MASH.
Aha. I see. Okay, I don't even know who. Stage 4 Klinger? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know who that is. But Mazel Tov, baby. Mazel Tov. Well, there's also another video I wanted to pull up here really quick. I got to find it. There was a off-duty doctor that apparently attacked a group of kids. So I'm going to look this up because it is kind of ridiculous. And keep those comments going.
We got Molly on Facebook said it could have been worse was her slogan.
Could have been worse. Hey,
yeah.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know? What you gonna do? Let's see. Hopefully this is it. Oh no, no, he just I've got to find it. Oh, I found it. Yes. Okay. Mazel tov. Okay, so apparently this doctor in Kentucky was recently arrested for allegedly attacking and choking a teenage girl for not social distancing. His name is John Raidmaker, 57. Was recently filmed in this viral video cursing and shoving a group of teens for not adhering to social distance recommendations during the coronavirus pandemic, according to the Louisville Metro Police Department. So this is like a 30-second clip of this guy just straight up losing his mind. Obviously this is raw footage, so there's probably going to be some colorful language because he does end up cursing at this group of girls. But just check this out because this is some wild stuff.
19 patients. Yes? Okay. Yeah, we're leaving. Please, let's not cuss at each other. No, I'm not calling you anything, sir. Just don't talk to us with...
This asshole right here.
Hey, don't touch... Hey, do not touch... Hey, oh my God! What the fuck is your problem? You do not touch...
Colorful language. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm stopping it right there because we don't need to see the rest of what happens. But obviously, this gentleman, who is a doctor that saves lives, y'all, saves lives, went to a group of girls who were just chilling on a hill, I guess, out in their backyard, just hanging out, and he went berserk. He literally lost his damn mind because of these girls that were all hanging out instead of obeying the mandate that has been said across the country. All right. So recently, this man who was accused of strangulation, he has recently resigned from the hospital that he was working from. So, man, it is really just a messed up situation for someone who is saving lives. Like I said, saving lives. Walks out of his house, sees a group of teenage girls. These are young teenage girls, and decides to just go and put the paws on them. All because of not obeying the social distancing rules that have been implemented throughout the entire country. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, man. Like, there's ways of just telling somebody, hey, girls, go home. Girls, just, you need to disperse, all right? 6 feet at least. If you're going to hang out, at least do the 6 feet or something. You know what I mean? Fellas, what do you think?
Well, I think it's, Jack, I think you might be muted there.
Yeah. Talk?
No, I think you need to
Yeah, you might want to unmute. How's that?
There we go.
There we go.
You know, if there's a check next to it, it usually means it's muted.
Hey, Tom, what were you saying?
Well, I mean, obviously it's inappropriate to ever put your hands on anybody else, and especially if you're a guy, you never put your hands on a woman. But the irony, of course, is that he's saying you need to social distance, and then he gets right up in the girl's face and starts choking her. So, I mean, yeah, people should be social distancing, but you also shouldn't be out there choking people. I mean, if anything, get a few water balloons and start whipping them at them or something,
Yeah.
You can break up a crowd from far away without getting up and choking them.
And can I point something out really quick before we continue? He was going after the black girl.
He sure was.
He went straight for the only black person in the group. Regardless if he just was zoned in on her or if she just gave off, if maybe she was the one mouthing off, we don't know before the clip started. If that's the case, regardless, getting caught on film doing something like that, especially now it's in Kentucky, it's a bad look for you, bruh. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's a bad look. I hate to throw the race card, but there's a lot of other people out there that are throwing the race card way before me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think there's no doubt about it. I mean, you could tell he looked around like which one of these girls, and then he's just like zeroed in on the black girl and went right at her.
He went straight for her, of all people. Yep. And he was like, that a-hole. And he just went straight for her. Just shoved the other girls out of the way and then just attacked. You know what I'm saying? Miss A, before we go to Jack, Miss A said, why is it any of his business he should be 6 feet? And also it shows that the front line is going through mental health as well. That's true. That's very, very true. Sorry, I just kind of cold read that. But yeah, you're right. It does also show that the front line is going through a lot of, I can only imagine the amount of stress that people are going through, especially people who are essential workers or any physician or nurse right now. I can only imagine how they're not having a psychotic break. This man literally is stressed out. I understand that piece, but he didn't need to attack. He didn't need to put the paws on him, period. You know what I'm saying? Jack, what do you think?
Wait, I didn't see what happened. Like, what started this? Was he just like walking up to the group and just like walk straight up to him, or were they talking beforehand, or like? Yeah, so from my understanding, because obviously the video only starts in the middle of this argument. So all I know is that, and I would only assume that this gentleman, this doctor, walks up, says, "Hey guys, y'all need to disperse. There's a 6-foot rule. Y'all need to go back to your homes at least," something like that. I'm sure the girls are like, "Well, leave us alone. We can do whatever we want," or whatever. That probably triggered him, got him really angry, and then the video starts. So we don't know what the dialogue was exchanged with everybody before that happened, you know? Right. And then he just was really revved up and angry. You know, we caught it right at the pinnacle moment. So of course, he shouldn't have done that. What he did, that's a dumbass move. That's a dumbass move. And especially these are teenage girls, man. These are teenage girls that are just, you know, I'm sure at first, as soon as they heard about this social distancing thing, they probably were like, "Hell yeah, we get to kick it." You know, no school, woo. Yeah. So they're just chilling. They're not hurting nobody. They're just hanging out with their friends.
The thing is, everybody, teenage girls, let's be frank, are terrible people. They're awful.
Teenagers. Let's just be real. Teenagers, period, are just teenagers. They're being teenagers.
That's right. Everybody wants to choke them, but you don't do it. We have laws in place that say you don't choke the children because they're kids.
I'm done, man.
You want to. You think, but you don't do it.
Yes, you think, meh, but you really don't do it, right? You think things in your head, but you really don't do it, guys. Come on, all right? Especially putting your paws, being a grown-ass man. You don't put the paws on children. You don't put the paws on anyone, okay? Especially a group of teenage girls that are just trying to hang out. yes, they should have at least abide by some sort of rules, but just because they gave you a little bit of lip doesn't mean that you put your hands on them. They ain't your children. You don't need to discipline them yourself. Call the cops then and keep it moving, bruh. Now you just lost your job. You might get your medical license revoked. You don't want that. Then you won't be living in that nice suburban home that you have with all that space. Look at all that lawn that they had. Damn. They had acres. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Y'all need to, don't put your paws on some girls, man. That's all you, just common sense, man. Anyway, Jack, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, isn't part of the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm?
Boom.
Yep.
Drop the mic. Walk off the damn stage. Facts. Don't do that, you dumbass. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting as well.
Yeah.
But he recently resigned because, as he should have. What did you say? What did you say?
He resigned because he was going to be fired.
Yes. Exactly.
More than like.
Sounds like a Trump move. You know, they resign instead of getting fired. Right. You know, they get urged to resign.
I'm going to make you an offer
that you're not going to be able to refuse. Yeah. Period. Because each choice goes to the same end result. You not working with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's some crazy stuff. And that's something that happened over the past few days, actually. So such a damn shame, you know? So definitely, by all means, if you're part of the conversation, still keep cranking it out. Comment down below. Let us know what you think on all the topics that we're talking about. You know, what else do we have going on, Tom? Do we have any other pieces of news that's going on? I mean, we got time for we got 10 more minutes, so we got time for one more topic.
Well, I mean, there's the Dr. Fauci. Trump retweeted a tweet today that was calling for Dr. Fauci to be fired.
Excuse me? Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Trump has been, you know, he's been kind of mad at Dr. Fauci, you know, behind the scenes here for a little while.
You want to know why? You want to know why? You know, there's a clip. You know, there's a clip that he had an interview on CNN, Dr. Fauci, and basically said that there were things that could have been done, that could have been prevented before this pandemic actually went down. And this only happened a few days ago. So I'm not surprised, because I was just watching it on the morning news this morning. And I literally looked at it and I'm like, oh, Trump is going to try to get him to resign. I already know it. But he's the only person that we can really trust.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Actually, continue with the story. I'm sorry I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm going to try to find this clip while you talk. All right? So tell us a little bit about the background behind this.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, Dr. Fauci has kind of been one of these people that, you know, if you don't like Trump, you can at least trust Dr. Fauci. But yeah, there was a tweet from a lady named Deanna Lorraine, who is a pro-Trump congressional candidate who polled at less than 2% in an open primary against Nancy Pelosi. But in the tweet, this Deanna Lorraine person said, Fauci is now saying that had Trump listened to the medical experts earlier, he could have saved more lives. Fauci was telling people on February 29th that there was nothing to worry about and it posed no threat to the U.S. public at large. She then added, time to fire Fauci. And then Trump retweeted that whole thing. So another morning meltdown from our president, where he's threatening to fire everyone around him, because that's what he does.
Oh, boy.
If anytime anybody is more respected than him, he gets his fragile little ego hurt and tries to fire him.
Facts. Well, there's a very long video in regards to this, talking about this, and I'll probably have to find the place and cut that out later. But given the fact that Fauci there's nothing wrong with what Fauci has been saying. There's nothing wrong with him saying the things that he has been saying. He's just speaking the truth. And there's been multiple times that Fauci has said something contradicting what Trump has said. There are times when, within even seconds of each other, where Trump will walk up to the podium, say what he has to say, being like, "Oh yeah, this is this, and this is what's going on with the pandemic, and this is what we need to do," and no. And then all of a sudden, he walks away. Fauci walks up and goes, "Actually, let me correct that situation. Let me tell you the real truth behind this." So this is not the first time. And then funny thing is that I've noticed a couple times too, where you won't see Fauci. Anytime that Trump says something and then Fauci goes against what he said, because he's like, wait a second, before he says all that stuff, we need to do this though first. You'll see Fauci either not speak at all or not even be part of the lineup for like 2 or 3 days. It's very interesting. Now that he went on CNN just recently and said, "Hey guys, we could have prevented this a long time ago. We knew about this stuff. We could have been ready, more prepared in January." Now they're sitting there saying, "Fire him." What the hell is that? Just because he's speaking the truth?
Yeah.
Because the American people actually believe him more than they believe Trump himself?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was a great article. There's not enough time to really go through everything that was in it, but if you have a chance, there's a New York Times article that came out over the weekend. Headline of it is, "He could have seen what was coming behind Trump's failure on the virus." And that really made the rounds this weekend on the Sunday news talk shows. It was all about the warning signs that the Trump administration missed as far as coronavirus goes. I mean, beyond just firing the CDC pandemic response team in China, there were a laundry list of things that, they could have acted on that they didn't, So it's worth checking out that New York Times article because it's pretty convincing.
For sure. It's just, it's interesting. I'm interested to see how everything pans out. Obviously right now, so far we're doing pretty decent, but then I've also heard that we're only in the second wave or like the second round of this situation, of this virus situation, that we should be expecting at least 5 rounds. So we're only at the end of round 2.
Yeah,
That's what I've also heard. What were you saying?
Yeah, I've been reading today that that this may be the peak of it here on a national level. But then I've also heard that, that's mainly because that'll be the peak in New York.
Right.
But that in Missouri, it may not peak until May. It might be, first or second week of May before it peaks in Missouri. So, right. They're gonna be waves. But they say nationally, this may be our peak this week or last week, this area we're in right now. So
have mercy.
Hopefully that's the case. And hopefully the projected numbers of cases and deaths just keep going down.
Here's the hope.
One of the big things is that the reason they say to lessen the curve, it's not so that the virus goes away because we made the curve go down. Almost everyone's going to get the virus. Without a vaccine, like, it will continue to spread when people are out and about because people don't know they have it.
Right.
They're asymptomatic. They're going to carry it around. And we don't know if after somebody has it, if they're still contagious or
Absolutely.
if you can catch it again. So, like, until there's that, but the reason we lessen the curve is so that when people do, the hospitals can actually manage the amount of people that are showing up.
Right.
Whereas if you don't, then those curve peaks that we hit are going to be too high and too hard to handle. Yeah. So it really is going to be telling over the next, probably month here to see, what type of effect it's actually having.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see like I said, I'm interested to see how it all pans out here soon. I'm hoping that we are actually flattening the curve. I'm hoping that what we're doing is actually working, because I know for a fact that we're all, at least for the summertime, I know all of us are hoping to jump into a pool, hoping to be able to do what we normally do during summertime. If it would suck for us to be just locked up like this for the whole summer, you know, not being able to flatten said curve. So I'm really hoping that this ends soon or starts to slow down soon, so that we can lift some of these restrictions off of all of us. You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
Man. No, sorry. It's just like I'm literally trying to, like, I'm still, even though we've been dealing with this is our reality. This is our daily reality right now. It's still wild to me that I'm still having moments where I'm like, I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that this is a real thing. You know, like, this is our reality. It is so wild.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, you know. But anyway, we got to get going. Guys, it's about that time. It's been a wonderful, wonderful one. I want to say a big thank you to Cody Stokes, Franklin Mosley, and Garland Scott, and of course, our musical guest, Vinnis Bryant III. I want to say a big thank you to all of them. Please go check out Vinnis Bryant III's page on Facebook. That's Vinnis Bryant III. All right, so go check him out. He spells his name Vinnis. All right, Vinnis Bryant III. And of course, on Netflix, y'all need to go and check out this movie, The Ghost Who Walks. Go check it out and definitely let me know what you think, because I need to bounce this conversation off with you guys. All right, definitely let me know what you think in the next show, because like I said, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie, and it's original, so go check it out. Anyway, of course, to my boys, Jack and Tom, thank you so much for being on the show, as always. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for Skyping in and all that. That really, really means a lot. Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, man. So anyway, I will be back on at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time to hang out, shoot the proverbial stuff. See what I did there? And, and hang out with y'all. So be sure to tune in at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, of course, if you're watching this and you've enjoyed yourself, please go click that like button on the feed right now as itself. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this on YouTube, crush that subscribe button. It would really, really mean a lot. Like I said, we do this show every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till about 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anyway, I'll see you guys at 5. This is the Pascal Show. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys soon. Much love. Bye.
You're going to perform tonight. I can't make this interview boring, because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Sex, money, power, respect. All of us live in this community. Only good people different to me.
Take up in glass.
The festival is crazy in the streets. Deception, the fakers, and leaks. Entertainers and trucking for tweakers and losing their seconds. Their loves are unique. All of us under surveillance. People are feeling they made it. Half of them stumbling around and they faded. They live in the world that's degraded for people that's constantly hated.
Imagination, Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all of our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range, So if you get hungry, come on by.